So I can look down at my essay page. I can see where he is on the 5-mile scale. I can see in front of me he's 2.8 miles with the HMD blanking. Can see on radar what he's doing. So all I'm going to try to do is match some numbers. Let me dim this out. Okay. And get close to him enough that I can see him. Now, I don't want to come directly at him because I've always seen that that's an issue. So we're going to put him at least out by the canopy rail. Now we're going to speed up. And again, I can see on my essay page, he's turning right compared to my position. So we're going to get us lined up nose to nose. But offset. I can see him offset on the essay page. I'm offset here. All right. We're closing at 140 knots. Make sure I'm down to 18,000. Alright, everything's still lining up on the essay page. Looks like he's a little bit to my left here, so I don't want to close in on that just yet. Alright, down to 120 knots. And at 1 mile, I'm going to bring that down to about 50 knots. And this is just a slow, methodical process. Alright, 1.4 miles. I can't tell if he's really at 19 or at 20. Alright, now I can see his lights at 1 mile. Just barely. And we're going to slow down to, we'll do 80 knot intercept for now. Get this down. Again, bring him back over to the right side because I don't want to fly at him. Alright. Now I can see he's visual. I want to come up co-altitude. At least enough that I don't have to make a huge movement. Okay, now I can see his lights. And what you're going to start looking for is the formation lights are on both sides, right? The front and the back. So I can reference the farther front light from here, and I can tell that's where his nose is, and then the farther back light. So I'm going to get him outside the ring now, like I would in form flying. Still coming in underneath him. I can see his lights now. Not great, but I can see him. And I'm just going to keep working closer. Again, I've matched speed. I'm going to keep him at the same spot in my canopy. Now I'm going to come up and match altitude. And those lights are going to get brighter. Can almost see the outline of the jet now. Now I can kind of see the outline of the jet. And again, I'm wide enough away. I'm not making any massive movements. Keeping him at the same spot in my canopy. Alright. I can see the outline of the jet now. Still having a little disorientation, but But I'm just focusing on the light. The front light to the left is his nose. The rear light with the vertical light on the vertical stab is his tail. So you can reference those and just try to find a position off. Now I'm very clear where I am to him. I can see him almost like I'm in daytime. And I'm going to try to get that wing tip or that missile tip lined up with that star and bar. I can't really see it very well, but if I had to be in close form, I would be like this. Now, the one thing is when you get closer, obviously the easier it is to see. So, any questions about this? Anything you want me to do again or show you?
No, so I mean, it's not quite as, you're not maybe quite as precise as in the daytime, but as long as you're kind of just close enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm staying where I should be, just like I would be in the daytime here, right?
So potentially part of the problem I had last night was in our flight, at least several people had other lights on as well. Like not just their formation lights. And like the one light that's, I don't know if it's up on top, it's like kind of red-orange.
Oh, you're talking about the strobe?
Yeah, it just swamps everything.
Well, I can turn my strobe off and we can have just a formation light on. I've got to turn off the... Yeah, because he doesn't have his left-right, his green and red forward light on. So he just has the form lights.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to know, like you can see there's the one on the wingtip, and there's the one on the front and the back. So, I mean, I can fly like this. To me, it's a little more glary because my room has light in it. But I can roughly do this the same way I can daytime, and even just a swap. It's, at this point it's visual with lights. At one point here I'm going to lose the lights, but I'm not going to do anything until I reacquire them. Okay, I've got them again. I can come up in position. I mean, I've flown whole missions this way. Hold on one second. What's up, Lover? Oh, I didn't turn it on. Ooh, I just got the death look from my wife. She told me to turn on the kettle and I totally forgot. Ooh.
Yeah, see? It's not just me.
Death look. Okay, let me get my bearing back here. So again, I'm just going to work things like I would normally and be in parade. Now, if we're in cruise, it's a little harder. Just because I think the distances are maybe harder to judge. But again, I'm looking at the lights. And right here, I can see where the front light is. I can see the wingtip. I can see the vertical stab light going up. And I can see that rear light. So I really have all the information I need. And I should actually be, I think, over here if I can kind of see that. Like, more of a cruise formation. I think it just takes a little practice. And it's just something we didn't do and kind of an assumption I jumped over, so I think it's kind of my responsibility.